afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host. And in studio with me over there, Q Magic. What's up, Q?
Good afternoon.
All right. Hey, guys, we are live on rumble.com. Go check us out at rumble.com. Also live on all the social media pages where our chat is up and ready. And a shout out to the KLFY Plus viewing audience as we broadcast live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. All right, guys, let me see you live on there in the chat. Let me see you over there, rumble.com. All right, so this story's from Ryan King over there at the New York Post. Pretty good article I stumbled on there. And it's about hundreds of our friends in Minnesota. Now, we kind of covered this program a little bit the other day, this particular federal program, but there's some new things have come out, and why are we covering it down here? Because if it could happen to us, if it happened to them, it could happen to us. And that's us. I mean, we're very blessed. We broadcast across state lines around here. You could be impacted by this. So we talk about that. All right, so apparently hundreds of Minnesota social service workers are publicly blasting Governor Tim Walz over there, my friend, for presiding over $1 billion in fraud inside the state's social safety net system. All right, so we talk about this program. We're going to build on it a little bit more, and also they're going public about him retaliating against the whistleblowers, by the way. So there's these whistleblowers that came out, and what do we see with bureaucracy? What do we see with big government, with on the federal side, with the FBI and their senior leadership, things like that? What's good for thee is not good for me. It's kind of what we're seeing. And what's another common theme in big government? It's, blast the people that are doggone whistleblowing. That is a common trait. Shout out, that's real, Shad, you win. Kill switch, almost, but good afternoon and bonjour. Absolutely. Love that chat over there at Rumble. Okay, so let's go back to the actual program. This is the Feeding Our Future scandal, basically. But it's a Feeding Our Future program, and Minnesota's hosting this, putting forth this program, and it's a scandal. And it stole more than $1 billion in taxpayer money. That should have everybody absurdly upset. And $1 billion in taxpayer money, by the way, the largest COVID-era fraud case in the country to date. Right there. Minnesota, your former vice presidential nominee, who didn't get a single vote. Neither did the presidential candidate. I'm talking about Democrat votes in the Democrat election, yet the Republicans are the threat to democracy. We actually count the votes for our nominee. I mean, we don't have these they have tried so many things. Super delegates back in the day, like the elites are going to make sure that the peasants don't control. They're going to be like, "Yeah, we'll take your vote and we'll give you enough crack with these programs to keep you hooked, but we don't really want your voice." That's pretty much what they live by there. Over 480 employees at the Minnesota Department of Human Services accuse Governor Walz of ignoring their warnings and attacking whistleblowers. But you see that in bureaucratic messes. You see that in government, that people that just thrive, and that's the government's the answer for everything. No, government is the answer to everything in their little world. But that's an inward-looking world, not an outward-looking world. But their common thread, their common approach, is like they have a standard operating procedure. Whistleblower, attack. Whistleblower, calling out the elites, calling out the people in charge. Oh. Let's make sure we attack them. Let's make sure. Let's not say, oh, this is an employee that's through what I would imagine the civil service system. That I get it. It has its own flaws, but I mean, it's better than not having one. We just need to tweak it. But, these whistleblowers, maybe one or two, you can maybe say or making a name for themselves or whatnot. But 480 employees, all whistleblowing on this one program? Guys, it's a lot. I mean, one's a lot. 480. Staff say Walz's administration used monitoring, threats, repression, I'm quoting them, and reassigned them to silence fraud reports. Okay. Federal prosecutors have charged 78 defendants with at least 59 convictions so far. Now, I will say this. During COVID, during the President Biden era, there were a lot of programs, a lot of fraud. I mean, in Louisiana and other states are not immune. There's so much program fraud within the federal programs that it's crazy. And it deals with so many agencies, and they're human beings at the end of the day. They're going to miss things. But we had over $500 billion in fraud in 2024? Or fiscal year 23-24? It's crazy. That's $500 billion. Hey, you think you can do the Lake Charles Bridge, the Baton Rouge Bridge, I-49 connector in Lafayette and I-20 up north? Do you think we can do that with $500 billion? Of course we can. We just need about 8. Nah, I mean about 14. Give us about 14. We can do all that. If it was a priority. You give it to us, we'll just add another Democrat congressional seat or something. I was waiting for you to get that. So fraud spread across, as you can imagine, nonprofits and shell companies. Like, dude, this is so... this is a consequence of big government. And big government is a mentality. It's a thing, too, big federal government. But big government, that's a mentality. That government can do everything. That government can fix your problems. That you can legislate morality and all these things that just are it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But yeah, even shell companies build out services that were never provided. Talking about during COVID, people are scared, especially up there in Minnesota, probably being told their nose is going to fall off by looking at a doorknob for more than 8 seconds in COVID. You had to put a mask on the doorknob probably up there. I shouldn't say that too loud. That's a good idea fairy will hit. I heard Moon early this morning talking about masks and things like that. He was on a roll, brother. All right, so look, we'll take a little break right here. When we get back, we'll talk about this and so much more, and I can't wait. Go join us over there at rumble.com. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. All righty, let's see here. I just got a message. I know it's raining. Can't go out there walking in the rain. So my dear friend just messaged me. Certainly appreciate that. Go check us out at rumble.com, guys. We are live and in color for reels, audio, and everything. Yeah, I see you, Kill Switch. I'm with you. Go check us out on the rumble.com. I want to see that chat popping. I want to see it. All right, guys, we're broadcasting live from Lafayette, Louisiana, over here at the KPEL Studios. And shout out to our viewers over there at KLFY+. We certainly appreciate you. All right, we're talking about, we're talking about what happens when government does things on large scales. So when you got $1 billion government program, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think is going to... Man, those folks don't care about your money. Even the bureaucrats that are, most of them are good people, they get off at 5, man. They don't care. Not like you think. Not like you. Now, not saying they don't do a good job and all the things, but it's a mentality. And we need it. It's a balance. But when you grow, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but this is why. You hear candidates talk about big government all the time, and they have an R by their name. They get in, they make government bigger. They don't understand what they're talking about, or they're lying. Either one's dumb. You know what I mean? So, just saying. All right, so President Trump called Minnesota a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. Well, I'd say so, especially if you remember some of the groups that we discussed last week or week before, hanging out in Minnesota. And certain, I'm just saying, and certain Democrat politicians placating to these extreme groups over there in Minnesota. I'm just saying. Throw it out there. Now, again, some whistleblowers. So why are we even talking about this? Well, because whistleblowers within Minnesota's Department of Health Services, 480, by the way. That's not a small sample size. I mean, there are political polls across the state that have only like 500 people in its sample polls, and we treat that with like a lot of respect or something. 480, I mean, like really, 480 Department of Health Services over there in Minnesota were whistleblowing on some illegal activity, fraud, services being paid for that weren't even rendered. Like, come on. I'm just saying. But we see it. We see this all too many times, though. We see this when government forgets. When government forgets it has a duty, and it forgets its duty, and starts chasing applause instead of accountability. And that is what we're seeing more and more across the spectrum. We're seeing politicians seek applause line and have no substance and no conviction. Very rarely. I mean, there are a few, and you saw that during some of the debates during the shutdown. You saw that. But here's the deal. Minnesota, like, it did not suffer a paperwork problem or a paperwork error. It didn't have a clerical glitch. Minnesota lost $1 billion because its governor built a culture that cared more about protecting political narratives than protecting the taxpayers that it has a duty to protect. A duty. And Tim Walz, he didn't even inherit this mess. This is all him. He can own it. Him and the tires burning and everything. Have a good old time at the BLM marches. Peaceful protests. That was me smelling tires. Or don't be confused with President Biden smelling children. It could be a little confusing, that sound. That was smelling tires burning from BLM marches with Tim Walz's lovely wife, the First Lady of Minnesota, moved by the moment, by the movement of the BLM tire fires. Got me motivated from my ivory tower. Don't get too close. I just want your vote. All right, but he didn't inherit it. He nursed it. He did more than not inherit it. He nourished it. He rewarded silence, and he treated whistleblowers as enemies instead of allies. You cannot tell me that 480 of these folks were saying things and the governor of Minnesota didn't know. One or two, maybe. 480 publicly, not behind the scenes. They tried. They tried to go through the proper channels, and they were outcasted. I don't think, look, I mean, men and women inside his own agency were begging him to stop the bleeding, and instead he punished them. Punished those guys for standing up and actually fulfilling their duty. The bureaucrats were right on this one. It was the elected official. It was the elected official, and that is far from leadership, Mr. Walz. That, my friend, that looks a lot more like political preservation dressed up as a little bit of compassion. A little bit of compassion. Where's my cloak? Where's my cloak? You preserving, boy. The Feeding Our Future scheme, that's what it is. That's what it is. Well, you can't call it anything else. But it's, again, it's not like it just grew out of thin air. Like, oh, let me go water the garden. Oh, here's this $1 billion program that's going to be abused, and 480 of my employees are going to find out, and then I'm not going to do anything. I'm only going to punish them. Wow. See, this would be a good time to play the game if it were a Republican. Come on, let's play the game. You could do this every day. If it were a Republican, if it were a Republican that had $1 billion program that literally paid for services that weren't being rendered, no telling how much fraud, waste, and abuse. This is the same pot that went into that terrorist group with Mahmoud over there, whatever his name is. I think that's what it was. I'm just saying, like, this is nonsense. So people with sense are looking at this, Democrat and Republican, say, what the heck? So what if it were a Republican? What would happen if 480 employees started whistleblowing publicly? That's 480 that we know of. That's 480 that have actually took the time to be public about it.
I think Tim Walz would ask him to resign.
Oh, geez. He probably would. Gosh. Yeah, oh, the Republican?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant he would ask the bureaucrats to resign, because that's what it sounds like. The 480, because they were all kind of like outcasted.
He's been moving them around and doing everything that he argued against when he was in Congress.
Oh, gosh, yeah. He's playing the civil service game, but you know, he can't just fire him, so he's just going to put him in misery, make him miserable. Make him miserable. But all of this grew because Walz allowed, remember the culture thing? People at the top, no matter if you're managing two or three people or managing 2,200 people or governing 2,000 to 2 million. All right, we all have a process, but it's a culture. The leader sets the culture. If that leader is a go-getter and proactive and wants to take care of things, even when no one will notice, just do the right thing, have integrity, then every one of his or her directors or staff or what cabinet, whatever it is going to adapt to that culture, or they're going to get out. They're going to get out. You see, because excellence cannot stand mediocrity. I got that from Nick Saban. I can't take credit for it, but it's true. And whatever that is, whatever excellence is. So if we want to do the right things, if we don't want this, if we don't want our partners to get money paid through these little schemes, then we'll make that known, and the culture won't allow that to happen. All right, guys, stick around. Phone lines are going to be up and running, and I can't wait. Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble, rumble.com. Clicking that screen so I can see it. There we go. I love that chat. It's getting there. Rumble.com. Certainly appreciate you. Think we got all our glitches squared away now. Thank goodness. Also broadcasting live on, rebroadcasting on KLFY Plus. Certainly appreciate that. We're going to go to my favorite part of the whole show, and that's the phone lines. Q, let's go to the phone lines. Who we going to? Let's see here. Caller, you're live on the Josh Giller Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? That's you, caller?
Is this me?
Yep, go ahead.
So, name is Chase. So, you always wonder why everybody freaked out with Doge. Then you wonder why the Democrats, and I'm sure there's some Republicans, freaked out about USAID.
Yeah.
All of these things have been growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because that's the way they're stealing the taxpayers' money. Well, and that's why Walz was able to get to a vice presidential nomination because they knew he would play the game. They knew he was part of the cabal. So that's how he got up there, because he's a moron, no doubt. But they needed someone who's willing to play the game, because there's smart people in the background running these scams. They just need a dummy for a face person.
with a little bit of ego. Now, I'm not saying he has ego, but a little bit of ego to be able to, think it's about him. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah.
But Josh, you were in politics.
Yes.
All politicians have an ego.
Yeah, sure.
That's what makes them politicians. All you need is a law degree and an ego.
Ooh, I wish more people had a law degree, but I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I like to have all those conversations.
Well, guess what? That's why you're not in politics anymore, because maybe you didn't fit the mold.
That's right. No, you're right. I will say this, Bub. You go in there and you spit truth, and it's like spitting fire at some of these guys. And if I'm doing it if I was doing it at the local level, imagine at the state and the federal level. And but there's a lot of thank you, caller. There's a lot of truth to what he's saying about just needing someone to be the little pawn. And yeah, I just never was interested in that. I'm okay with being able to sleep at night, man. I put my head on my pillow. I know I did the best I can. I know I did it for the right reasons. I know I pissed off the wrong kind of people in there, and I don't care. Some of them aren't there anymore. We got rid of some. Some came back. You can't get rid of them. I mean, when you hire a Democrat, that's what's going to happen, or a rhino. All right, let's see here. Who are we going to? Mr. Bobby! What you got, Mr. Bobby?
Yeah, I want to know if you were still commissioned.
Hey, I'll go back anytime. I never resigned it, but I think it expires.
I can't call you LT no more.
Oh,
I can't call you LT no more. I got to call you JD, which is a whole lot better. You know that Walz, that guy just said, that guy's worse than a moron, because what pissed me off, he lied about his military career.
I remember that. I don't know much about what he said, but yeah, that I remember that being a thing.
I remember what he said. He lied about that.
Okay.
But he's beyond a moron. What's beyond a moron?
You tell me.
The Biden? Copy out.
Mr. Bobby always throws it in there. Very, very good. Hey, and I think you still can retain the rank. You just can't use it. But I will if they let me. All right, let's see here. Who we going to? Warren. What's up, Warren? Bring the heat, baby.
Well, why not steal if there's no accountability, Josh?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's outrageous, and that $1 billion is just the tip of the iceberg. There ain't nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see what they did with all these illegals, how they were making money off all these illegals, you know. All this steal, it will come to a stop. The steal will come to a stop, because God, in his greatest wisdom, God knew and saw all this coming, this chaos we're going through right now. And I just want to thank him right now for creating that rock called wormwood that's going to put a stop to all this stealing. Thank you, Josh.
All right. Well, thank you, Warren. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Renee. Renee, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just upset with this gain-of-function communists. I mean, every week they have an episode, and they never give up like TV series. They never get burned out. I mean, they always got something new. Anyhow, they take a vacation. These people are relentless. They're more relentless than you walking a cat down the park with a leash or giving a cat a bat. A cat will claw you, bite you, take your eyes out if you can because he don't want to bathe. These communists don't want to give up. They're going to say how Donald Trump didn't do what he promised and all that because you stopped him all the way. Donald Trump tries, but these people come up with judges. You're not doing judge business like you're supposed to. I mean, who would have ever thought judges had that much power? I mean, I thought a judge just worried about the courthouse and taking care of people. Not what the president does or the governor does or the nation does. That's insane. I didn't know a judge could do that. That's insane. That's wrong.
Well, thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. So I think the reason why we're kind of shocked a little bit with I'll just go with the judges. I'll work backwards. Is because most of the time judges act right. Most of the time they do. And most of the time, and rarely in the past did we see a district judge, like a federal district judge or any judge at the trial court level, state or federal, never did we see at this rate the overreach from the bench, the executive functions, which is not a functionality of the judiciary. The judiciary is it's the judicial branch. They're supposed to run that department only. If they want to be the president, go run for president. Actually get out your ivory tower and go see if you can actually get a human being to vote for you. That would be an accomplishment. And you might be surprised how hard it is. I don't know. I mean, if you're not going to act within the authority that the Constitution and the laws provide you to act, then come on. All right, let's go to Big Chris. Let's see here. Big Chris. What's up, Big Chris?
Hey, Big John. I just tuned in. I heard all the regulars. I'm not sure what the topic is. What's going on? What's the topic?
Well, right now it's your friend Tim Walz just turning a blind eye to $1 billion fraud in that in the food program up to there. You had 480 doggone Department of Health Services employees blow the whistle on it, and they just get punished. But you're not surprised by that, Big Chris. You know all about this. I just filled you in.
Is that the one? Is that the one involving the Muslim community?
Well, that was, and a portion of it, we covered that about 2 weeks ago, and a portion of it, would go into one group associated with Al Qaeda. That's where that's where our tax dollars are going.
Yeah. Well, I keep saying this is a spiritual warfare we're going through because I used to say, well, why did the Democrats keep doing this? Why do the liberals keep doing this? I mean, it's hurting them, and they keep voting the same people in, and it's all I can think of. It's a spiritual warfare. People, Satan got his little whisper in everybody's ear. You can get this for free, you can get that for free, and people fall for this, and especially uneducated people. An educated electorate is not going to fall for this. That's why our schools, our public schools, are horrible, around the country, and that's what's happening. They can manipulate uneducated people or ignorant people, and I don't want to say they're dumb. They're just uneducated, and that's how they get away with a lot of it.
Yeah, or indoctrination, or a little bit of both. A little bit of both, Big Chris.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely indoctrination. Yeah, I've got an older son. My oldest son got indoctrinated, and my other two didn't, and it's we don't talk.
Well, I'm gonna pray for you on that. Hey,
I can't even see my grandkids.
Hey, Big Chris, we're gonna pray for you on that. But look, you make some good points. I certainly appreciate that. Yeah, man. Let's go to Norm. Norm from Poche Bridge. What's up, Norm?
No.
What up, Norm? What's up? That's you. All right, let's go to Norm. Pay attention, Norm. We had you on. Let's see here. Let's go to caller. You're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jody, Lafayette.
All right, Jody. What's up, Jody?
I'm listening to y'all, and I'm listening to what the other guy said. And I think people can get a misunderstanding. I understand what he's saying when he says uneducated people, but I don't think he really means uneducated. It's more like you said, uninformed people.
There you
go. They're blinded to what's really going on. I have a friend that sent two of his children to college to UL. And they both came out so stinking liberal that my friend's wife says, if I'd have known that's what college would have did, I'd have never paid for it. So I want to agree with him on something. It's a spiritual battle going on that people don't understand. People have scales over their eyes. and they're blinded. And until you open your eyes to truth, they'll never understand. So what we do is we stand, we pray, but there comes a day that we may have to fight. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
Well, let's fight that war with the weapons that God gives us, and that's all spiritual. So, all right, my man, I certainly appreciate you. All right, Sean, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Broadcasting live from the Cape Health Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. I see you over there at rumble.com. Let me check you out. You can also go to all our socials. You can go to my X page, very original, at Josh Guillory USA. And shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. All right, Sean has been waiting very patiently. Quentin, let's see here. All right, Sean, what you got, buddy?
Hey, I think all of you the callers, it's a culmination. We're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We have the ability to fix all of these problems right now in a certain way that our Lord and Savior, we have moral standards and values that do not allow us to do that. But I tell you what, they on the other side do not, and they will win at any cost. But I don't know if they don't know that we can do what we can do, but don't mistake my kindness for weakness. And I think they're getting a little too big for what they're trying to accomplish. And you know what? Maybe a civil war might take care of it. I don't know. We can't keep going like this. They killed a man on live not TV, but streaming.
Yeah.
And what did we do? Oh, we went and we prayed in a circle. Okay, well, that's going to end one day. Somebody's going to get tired.
Well, I hear, and look, you're just saying the truth, John. I mean, you're speaking what a lot of people, are believing. Let us be leaders and push against that. And even when we get tired, even when we feel like we're not heard, even when we feel all the things, we must still do the right thing anyway. And that's there is only one way to lose our country, and that's to go the other way. I hear what you're saying, and a civil war is I don't agree. I agree that we're at a turning point. No pun. I think we're at a crossroads in our country, but we've been here before, and it happens. And every 40 years we wake up. Took the Israelites 40 years to get to the promised land. 40 seems to be a thing in humanity. Look what happened. What about 40 years ago? We had a really good president that took us out of the dark ages of basically of lack of respect. What is it? I mean, 1980 and 2024 very similar in the elections, taking over an absolute out of touch. I don't even know how to explain La La Land living with the unicorns in planet Saturn. I don't know. Maybe the moon of one of the moons of planet Saturn. It wasn't here. They weren't here, okay? And I mean, you look at gas and the economy and inflation with Jimmy Carter. Then you look at all the similar things with Joe Biden. And then you look at the level of respect that we had or the lack thereof in 1980 and look at the state of our military in 1980. Then you fast forward to 44 years later, and then what do we have? Or 40 years later, what do we have? Men wearing men's dresses or women's dresses in military officers at that. And then listen, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want. You want to identify as a pencil, come freaking join the Army, be all you can be, and be the best pencil you can be. I mean, that's the kind of crap that we had that Trump had to come in here, and anybody who would have inherited that would have had that. I just don't. So I'm just saying, we get this. I got it. 40 years, every 40 years we're going to see this. 40 or 50 years, every 100, 125 years you're going to see a really big change. And we're in that big change. The last time we changed our financial makeup in this country was, 1913? Something like that? 1910s? I can't remember. Security Exchange Act of, I think, 1934 was a big one. These are like 100 years ago. And that's very important. At monetary systems, look at the history of this. We are at such a crossroads. And then you look at the ideology breakdown. Whereas the last Civil War was North and South, blue and gray, and all that stuff. Okay, you had battle lines, you had all the stuff. We're just at a different, I mean, this thing is so weak in the long run, but strong right now, okay? And what I mean by that is we have all these external factors that come into our life now. We have 24-hour news. That doesn't exist. You just, the same thing over and over. Or you, Do we really need to see a police chase in Timbuktu, Wisconsin, down in Abbeville, Louisiana? Does Abbeville, Louisiana care about that? No, because they need something to put on TV. That's why reality TV works. They just need something. But we've made everything big government. We've made everything big. We've made all our philosophies big. And that's not the case. And what I mean by that is everything is a Republican or Democrat issue now. And that is silly, okay? Our founders got it right. They created a country where local governments know how to best govern their local communities. And there's a lot of checks and balances like with that. The states are in a better position to take care of its constituents than Uncle Sugar at the big federal government level. It's a philosophy, and that philosophy has embedded itself in politics now. A Republican in San Francisco looks different than a Republican in Shreveport, and that's okay. And it was for a long time because our common principles of fiscal responsibility, of literally small government, of a strong military, strong border, fiscal responsibility, that kind of stuff that we used to hang on to, you can kind of kick that one out the window. But the other ones are still there. That is how it's designed. Same thing with the Democrats, okay? Whatever. Y'all want whatever it is, flavor of the week. But now it's not. Now it's every woke. It's all on feelings. You can't go. There's a reason why there's a federal government, and it's limited, and we should only be discussing those limited things with the federal government. States have police power. Have at it. Go for it. It's beautiful. We don't get to these 50 laboratories of democracy if we don't allow democracy to breed and breathe. That is very important. So this whole mindset could lead to a theoretical civil war, a peaceful civil war. But we're all in the war right now. And let's lead by example. We can do this. We could do this. We could do this. Our ideas are stronger than their hate. God bless you. We'll be right back. Josh Guillory Show. Woo, we're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios. I remain your very grateful host. Q Magic still in the house.
Good afternoon.
See, y'all don't see him. He's back there, man. Smoke's coming out everywhere. I don't even know what those movements on those computers and all that stuff. That's fantastic. I just get to come here and hang out with the folks. And speaking of hanging out with the folks, hey, guys, I appreciate y'all making your way back to Rumble. I know it's been a hot little minute. We're back. We're live and in color. So, rumble.com, thank you, guys. You can also check us out on our social medias. And shout out to our viewing audience on KLFY+. We are certainly happy to be with you and everyone today. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines again at the bottom half of the hour. Man, you guys rocked it out. Thank you so much. Thank you hey, Big Tib, I see you out there. And you can go to our app chat on rumble.com. Go to our Rumble chat. I want to see you. All right, let's see here. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about process. And we're going to talk a little bit about, I don't know, something maybe we should kind of, I don't know, let's just talk about it. So there's an article from the Washington Times, and it covers a federal Third Circuit Court of Appeals ruling. And the ruling was an Assistant Attorney General, Alina Habba, that's President Trump's acting U.S. attorney in New Jersey, was improperly installed under the Federal Vacancies Reform Act. Okay, let's dive into that a little bit. And this is interesting because we just had an issue with Comey and all that, with that particular indictment, having an attorney act as the assistant or the U.S. attorney or assistant U.S. attorney that wasn't properly appointed, ended up being Comey's out. So this is a different case. Now, it's very important, though. This is a little different. Not necessarily. Comey's case wasn't thrown out. It's because of the timing it was essentially thrown out. Now, the judges in this particular case that we're talking about, okay, this is with Alina Habba. They didn't toss out the prosecutions in that case. That was a criminal case. Didn't toss them out, but they did disqualify her, meaning she can't practice in that case. She can't be an attorney for the government in that case. And actually from two cases, and they made it clear that the administration must follow the statute when filling that office. Well, they made sure to say that, throw that in there. I got a couple of thoughts on that. I mean, our president and his administration is running at lightning speed. Some of this stuff is going to happen. My critiques of the Comey situation are much different than this. This is just the fact that these prosecutions won't be tossed out makes it different, makes it much different. And the fact that you were going after the former FBI director, you got to have your ducks in a row, man. And you had all the time in the world to do it. So in this particular case, again, we're going back to Alina Habba. She had been serving as acting U.S. attorney for past the 120-day limit allowed by law. Now, the court said only the person who was already first assistant when the vacancy opened can serve in that role. Trump nominated Habba for the permanent position, which legally barred her from continuing as acting U.S. attorney. Okay. But hey, I say that. The law's the law. DOJ and Attorney General Pam Bondi, they tried delegating authority to keep her in place, but the court said that particular workaround violated the Vacancies Reform Act. So very, very interesting little action over there in the judiciary. Again, prosecutions in those particular cases, they are going to continue. They'll remain intact, but they simply must proceed without her involvement. So the court sent a message today for sure, without a doubt. We know that. But I don't think the message was subtle, and it's important. You know, they want the administration to slow down, to follow the statute, and make every appointment bulletproof. Okay, we always want that. Time will tell if this was rushed through. Seems like if the judges are right, which it seems like they are, seems a little sloppy. You don't know that? Appointments are pretty important. We said that. I'm not mad at the judges. Judges did their job here. And by the way, them doing their job in this particular case doesn't weaken the mission, and that's important. Doesn't weaken the mission. It actually strengthens it if you think about it. It strengthens the process. It strengthens our judiciary. It strengthens everything. A clean process. When you're talking about being accused of a crime by your government, clean process protects good prosecutors, good cases, and also good outcomes. Outcomes that stick or stick longer. And look, we always know we want to stand with the rule of law. We don't want shortcuts. We know that. I know this audience knows that. Pam Bondi's team is trying to rebuild a Justice Department that was turned inside out for years, and we need to remember that. That is not a fact that we should just fly by. That's, just clean up a mess. No, it was bad. It was bad. It was weaponized, politicized. It was anti-American. Anti-American. So they're cleaning up the mess. They're chasing real corruption. They're dealing with the bureaucracy that fought Trump from the minute he walked into the building, still today. So a little grace. I think we should give the AG a little grace there, but grace with our understanding, but not turn a blind eye to abandoning the process. You have to stick to the process. It's important. So they're moving fast. I get it. But when a court draws a red line, you just adjust, you keep going, and that's what they're doing. This is, because I have a feeling that the left and some media outlets out there, not all of them, they're going to try to spin this as some kind of blow to Trump, and it's not. It just simply isn't. The indictments stand. The cases continue. What the court said is simple: tighten the process. And that is something that a lot of us can wrap our arms around. And honestly, America needs that. Like when you're dealing with people who abused power for years, the cases need to be built like granite. No weak links, no loose ends, no excuses for anyone to scream technicality and run home celebrating. Does that sound familiar? That's what happened with Comey. And we can avoid it. We can avoid it. But we'll take a little break. When we get back, we are going to cover this topic and so much more. Go check us out at rumble.com and all the socials. We certainly appreciate you. We'll be right back. show. Broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also on Rumble. Let me see over there at rumble.com. Let me see those chats. Certainly appreciate you. All right, we're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Right now we're talking about a particular prosecutor, I'll just say that loosely, that was not properly appointed, just kind of talking about it a little bit. Not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal to do it right. And that is basically what happened. So I think we have a lot of wins here, but I do want to highlight a few things. Wins as a country. But I always say this to folks. Conservatives, we don't fear rules. Like, okay, we got rules. We thrive under them because everybody's the same. Okay, it's an actual equal playing field. Great. So if I work hard, my chances of succeeding are higher, understanding that I could still fail. Okay, got it. But everybody else has to play by the same rules? Oh, good. Yeah, sign me up. It's like we love that. We believe in institutions that work the way that the law that creates them says it should work. And only derive from authority from the Constitution. That's why I don't understand how the FBI is constitutional. I don't understand it. Don't claim to be God's gift to constitutional analysis, but I really don't understand it. Is it interstate commerce? Is it the Commerce Clause? All our legal nerds out there like me, you're probably saying, probably. But how? How? Nothing to do with commerce. How is this? Where in the Constitution does it say national police force? Where? Where does it say in the Constitution that we should have all these agencies with badges and guns? Tell me. Please. I would love to know. Because if the federal government would just do what the federal government's supposed to do and nothing else, we're good. Keep us safe and keep the economy rolling. That's it. That is it. Very implied task. Yeah, that means keep the border closed. Yes, that means healthy regulations to balance everything out and just follow the Constitution. It says what Congress can regulate. Now, the courts have grown that like crazy, and I don't want us to go down a wild, rabbit hole, in this. But that has been expanded over the years, but there has been restraint over the last 30 years. So there's hope. And this current court seems to be enthusiastic about putting limits on branches of government, and that is a healthy thing. And just like the three judges, I'm assuming it's the three judges in the Third Circuit that ruled against Trump's appointment, not throwing out the prosecutions. This wasn't like a soft on crime, woke political thing. This was just the rule of law. And I only highlight it because it's probably not in too many news outlets. I only highlight it because it's something that we as conservatives, look, man, we don't fear rules, but we got to make sure that they're fair. We got to make sure that that it applies to everybody. I want the prosecutions in these criminal cases to be done right. I think everybody wants it to be done right. I want every conviction that they get that's rightfully received to stand. Because the defense attorney, they're going to throw everything they can at the government. And the government has to prove it, as it should. But I want in America to see a Justice Department that delivers accountability without sloppiness. And that is what we might have seen here. Perhaps we could have achieved this without the headache by a little simple pause. But who am I? I mean, I've rushed into things. I've all in the name of trying to help people. Doggone it, trying to help folks. So I get it, people. But this is such a minor thing. This is such a little technicality. I only highlight it just so we can just talk about something different, and maybe it can help you in your day and your conversation. I don't know. Now, we got a whole bunch of other stuff we could talk about too, though, Q Magic. Now, I'm going to have to go to it. I have to go to this one. But I will say this before we go. Did y'all know there's a senator in Iowa, in America? Her name is, you know it?
Is it Joe?
Sorry, you get close.
Joni?
Yes. And the last name, do you know?
Ernest?
That's it. Ernst. Jody Ernst from Iowa. She is so smart. She found $2.1 trillion months ago now. $2.1 trillion in savings right there, line by line. Had people like me all excited, bragging on her, saying, Joni for president.
She should put it in a bill for Capitol Hill.
Thank you. Go watch the cartoon, Schoolhouse Rock. Like, dude, this is the ultimate talk is cheap. When all in the government shutdown talk, you had us all excited about fiscal responsibility, and you're talking about doggone $2.1 trillion that could cut our national debt, cut spending. And Quentin over here pulls up an article that's going to get my blood boiling. I hadn't read it yet. I'll try to read in one of these breaks about all these bills that you did some research on all the bills that Senator Joni Ernst has dropped. Do y'all know that the $2.1 trillion ain't in there?
Is there anything on eggs?
Gosh. Make sure we label the eggs right. That's a priority. And it is important. You want to label your eggs right. But my goodness, Joni, just don't say it. Joni, listen. If you ain't going to drop the bill, Joni, be quiet. Don't say nothing, Joni. What you doing?
I have an idea.
Yes.
She could replace the text in the egg labeling bill.
Yes.
They do it all the time.
Yes.
And then send it to the House.
I like that. Now, at least you're coming up with a solution there. Come on, Senator. At first, I just thought you forgot to drop a bill. Then we started talking about Schoolhouse Rock, and then I thought it was like, oh, the government shut down, so you think you can't drop a bill. But then we had to remind her about her egg labeling bill that she dropped. Just don't say anything, Joni. You got me all excited. You sound like a kid. Hey, here's your present. Oh, psych. Give me 5 up high, down low, too slow. Like, what the heck? Like, what's Joni? You messing with me, Joni, and you messing with us. But really, $2.1 trillion. Jeez, put up or shut up. All right, hey, this one I'm going to try to fit in here before the break. I think I can. All right, so a little article from, again, the Washington Times. But the headline on this one kind of says it all. All right, so a new national study over there. I won't break down the study. I have a few minutes. But a national study finds that according to this article at the Washington Times by Stephen Dinan, his study shows that the states with the highest taxes are also the states losing people the fastest. Outmigration. That's interesting. You have something on that?
It shocks me that they needed a study and that they're shocked.
Right.
Like, who paid for the study?
That's why Mom Donnie over there, he's like, oh, we're going to raise it up. Oh, just to New Jersey. They're leaving New Jersey, too. Golly. Or maybe I don't know. It's something funny over there. But we all know where he's at. All right, so the research in this article tracks net migration between 2020 and 2023. Very important years. And the pattern is consistent. High state tax, like high tax states, like California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, they're watching families and businesses pack up, while lower tax states in the South and in the Mountain West region, believe it or not, gain the most new residents. Makes sense. Florida, Texas, no state income tax. Makes sense a lot. Also, the biggest losses came from states with aggressive income tax structures and then, of course, high cost of living pressures. So I was curious when I led into that article, which taxes are we looking at? And income tax was it. Makes sense. The biggest gains went to states with lighter tax burdens and stronger job growth. More opportunities. Usually those opportunities come when government does what government's supposed to do. Infrastructure and get out the way, keep you safe. Local government ain't hard. Infrastructure, keep you safe and let the people do it and get the hell out of their way. All right, guys, there's some implied task in that. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. The Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also on rumble.com. Let me see over there at rumble.com. All right. I appreciate the chat, guys. I missed you. All right. My favorite part, Quentin, of the whole show, and that's listening to our folks over here. Let's go to Mr. Bobby. Mr. Bobby, what you got?
Yeah, I was thinking about what Big Chris said about he had relatives that weren't informed. Well, I had some too, but here's the deal. My wife would say, I don't want them coming to the house no more. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to break them down diplomatically. I'm going to run them through boot camp.
There you go.
First time they had Biden-Harris signs in their yard, you know, there's a number of them down on Brentwood. And after I informed them, the next time they voted for Trump.
There you go.
So they fought for being stupid. They just wasn't informed of what's going on. But after when Biden-Harris got in, the whole thing changed on them.
Yes. Hey, Mr. Bobby, but absolutely, but you're right. And it kind of, Big Chris kicked it off. Then another caller called in and said, I think he just meant like uninformed. Totally right. And we as patriots, and I say that patriots peacefully and loving our country, it happens to have conservative values, but you did what the front line requires you to do, and you just brought truth. But we as conservatives and lovers of America have to work even harder to do this, because look at what our country is inundated with a large part of the day on the screens, okay? And it's not always accurate information, and most of the time it's not given in a pure and objective way, and you know all that. So good job, Mr. Bobby.
I like to listen to Dr. Michael. I've been listening to Dr. Michael Savage for at least 15 years.
Hey, okay, I don't know who that is. You know who that is, Q?
Uh-huh.
No
Google
idea.
it up. He's on Sunday night,
Okay.
Fox Nation.
All right. Hey, yeah, it's a good little network. All right, thanks, Mr. Bobby. Appreciate you. Who we going to?
Warren,
what's up, Warren?
Yeah, talking about disinformation, you know, they lied about the FBI director. Now they're lying about the Department of Cremation and Disintegration, saying that they illegally killed these people at sea. But, Josh, understand, these people have no uniforms. They have no markings on their boat. They're coming from a country that's known for narco-terrorism, that's starving their own people. Drop some bombs now. I mean, the sharks got to eat. I don't want nobody being killed, but they've killed thousands of Americans, and they're not going to stop. And they're trying to say this is a war crime. No, what do you want us to do? Zip tie them and burn them some gas and go put them on concrete and line them all up and shoot them like Israel? Be polite and zip tie them. Save the zip ties. Save the fuel. You know, sharks got to eat too. This is outrageous. But, you know, kill them or kill us. I'd rather it be them. Thank you, Josh.
Hey, thank you, Warren. Look, guys, I mean, bottom line, hey. We really want to go there, then your lawful option seems to be invasion, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's a better option right now. Come on. So that part, I got some notes on that if we have time to get to it, but I'd like to see that play out a little bit more, but I can speak of the reality of the situation, and we are at war, and we've been at war. We've just not acted like we've been at war at times over the last 40 years. Not always. Not always. We've been vigilant and alert at times, and we have not at other times. And we are rebounding from times that we were not. So, drugs, there's a war on drugs, and it's not what Nancy Reagan announced. It is literally a war involving drugs. Drugs is the killing mechanism, okay? So, yeah, we're at war. Where do you want to fight the war? You don't have a choice. You're at war. You don't get to choose it. So what do? You have one of three options. Fight here, fight in the waters, or fight there. You're fighting. You have no choice. Liberal Larry, it's easy to say whatever you want to say to stop these little attacks, but that is your choice. You have three, because they are coming, and the drugs are coming with them. And I could go on and on and on about different examples, all right? Now, let's go back to the phone lines, shall we? You pick. All right, Sean. What's up, Sean?
Hey, man, I hear a lot of people saying ignorance and they don't know. The layperson may be ignorant. You know, we all have a life to live. You know, I don't want to watch news every day of my life, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Democrats that are in charge, they are running the playbook. It is not ignorance. It is a form and they are going right down where they want to be to split this country in two. I mean, that, I have some in-laws that don't vote like I do, but they're not ignorant. But they're not leaders either.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Hey, what's their name? Say it on the radio.
Oh, that's Buddy and
yeah, I love it, Sean. I love it. We were gonna bleep it out if you did. I wouldn't do that to you, Sean. I love it. Hey, good points. Good points as always. Sean's a strong caller. We got a lot of strong callers. All right, who else are we going to? All right, you are calling live on the Josh Giller Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir or ma'am? Oh, that's you, caller. Try again. Nope, we lost him. All right, if you just hung up, call again. All right, now I hear this caller. Caller, you're live. What you got? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Eddie.
All right, Eddie. Well, you got to look at that number. I know Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
All right, now your woman that found all that money that she can drop.
Yeah.
Well, her partners in the Republican Party got her in her office and had a big, long talk. So she forgot about that bill. She dropped everything else,
Probably right.
And the judges, I believe every judge, I don't care where they at. I know we got judges that get elected, but every judge needs to be elected and put a R or D by their name, or better yet, get rid of the R and D, and this is who I am. This is what I want you to vote for me for. And then you ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got no Democrat, Republican. I think that's what's wrong with this country. We got Democrats and we got Republicans. We're all human beings. We are American citizens.
That's right.
That's what I think that needs to be happening. Drop that R, drop that D. That way people, vote their conscience and vote what they believe in. Get rid of that R and D, then you won't have no more problems.
Ooh, I think you're right about that. Hey, thanks, Eddie. I appreciate you. Ooh, Eddie and George Washington would agree, for sure. For sure. I love it in theory. I don't know if it's real, because the reality is because of freedom of speech and you balance all your rights, and I just don't see how you get away from it being politicized. There are rules in place for judicial candidates that are not in place for other candidates, so that helps. So you could police it up that way, because you have a right to run for office. You do not have a right to be an attorney. So when the Louisiana Supreme Court, for example, take our state, or Louisiana, for example, they put the requirements. They put rules. They create certain canons and things like that. The rules of professional conduct exist. So you possibly could. You possibly could actually do that with judges. You possibly could. It's possible. Now and then it goes into the debate on whether you go all elected or appointed. I will say this: I don't know a better system in the world than what we have now. Okay, but I understand the frustrations with it. With those who are appointed, well, I mean, I just gave my thoughts on some of that. And I agree with the sentiments of Eddie and a lot of people listening to right now and viewing. Yeah, there's a lot of overreach by the judiciary. It's rare. It's not the majority, not in my experience at all. But it happens enough to notice, and one time is enough. Just like all this fraud on the federal level, over $500 billion. $1 is too much. And if there would be a bigger government, if we had like a world, don't give these guys too many ideas, it would be more fraud, because the bigger you get, the more. And the smaller you get, the more productivity you get, the more efficiency you get, and the less fraud and the less wasteful spending. Isn't that crazy how that works? Isn't that crazy? It's like our founders kind of figured that out too, But really, the only time you get that, though, in the local level is if you have a mayor that wants to do it. And that's just, and doesn't make the ones that don't, anything. I'm just saying, unless you have him or her in office to actually want to do those things, it ain't happening. because it's too hard to do it. You got to care. It's too easy not to do it, should I say. It's too easy to just go along to get along, like the caller said earlier about Tim Walz. He's the perfect guy there. He's a perfect front man to be covered. But anyway, I could go on and on. All right, let's go. Oh, dang, I hear the music. I was about to go to my friend, Mr. Blue Wave. I was getting excited. Cue, doggone. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on rumble.com. Go check us out, the Josh Guillory Show. We love it, and we love you. All right, so, man, you know, I always talk about the Middle East, and I say, you know, when we're talking about diplomacy, the leaders over there typically, and probably universally, respect strength. They respect strength. But in the break, we were kind of talking, money motivates too.
Absolutely.
Money and gold seems to motivate. It's a side note. Don't know why I'm sharing it. Just doing it. All right, let's go back to the phone lines, shall we? Let's see here. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? That's you.
Yeah, it's me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I just want to request a song.
What song you want?
What's it called? Old School Santa Baby.
Okay, we'll see what we could do. I don't know if you meant to call the right place, but you know what? We're going to try to play Old Santa Baby. I don't know if we can. Oh, Quinn's looking at me. He said he can't. I'm sorry. All right, we appreciate you. I love that, though. I had a little caller call, and he asked a great question, and this young man called. His voice sounded just like him, and I didn't know if it was the same. I love that song, though. I'm going to go put it on my car on the way home. I got the YouTubes on right there. All right. Let's see here. I know this caller, Mr. Blue Wave, my dear friend. You're voting Republican next time. I know. I won't tell nobody.
Well, we need to change the R and the D.
Okay.
To Blue Wave number 1 and red whatever wave whatever.
That's me.
Number 2.
I'm red wave number 1. You're blue wave number 1.
Right.
Yes.
So we need to change, like I said, we need to change Blue Wave number 1 from a D, and then red wave whatever to from an R to a red wave.
All right. And, we lost Mr. Blue Wave. But I'll tell you what, and we're going to go in the Gulf of America. My side's Gulf of America. His side is Gulf of Mexico. That's how we get along. You see, we compromise. It's all right. I love Mr. Blue Wave, and I think he loves me most days. All right, so let's see here. I can fit this one in. I want the folks, this one right here, man. All right, this is all over the place. I ran across a New York Post report there from Samuel Chamberlain, just in case you want to see or know where I'm coming from. All right. Nicholas Maduro finally resurfaced. Did you see this? Like, he was like AWOL for like 5 days.
I think he was hiding in a cave somewhere.
And Trump's trolling him, of course, like, where's he at? I don't know. He's got a cave. I don't know. He needs to come out. Come out, wherever you are. So here he is. Yeah, resurfaced, 5 days, AWOL basically, silence, all right? So the appearance came at a coffee awards ceremony in Caracas, where he tried to project a little strength and a little stability. You know, nothing says it like that. What's a coffee award ceremony? And the president's going to that?
I've never heard of that.
I mean, when I first read that, I was like, what is this? Okay, anyway. Nothing says strength like, you know, a little coffee bean. Little coffee bean. Anywho. So this little appearance by Mr. Maduro ends a stretch of heavy speculation triggered by our boy, President Trump, who delivered a direct ultimatum. He said, step down. This was like a week ago, wasn't it, Q? Like, I think about a week ago, maybe longer. Step down and leave the country safely or face the consequences. I mean, he did not mince words. He did not mince words at all. So, yeah, you know, step down. Now, according to the Miami Herald, Maduro countered with an offer to surrender political power while keeping control of the armed forces. Yeah, we're going to do that one. Yeah, we're going to give you all the army. Yeah. So you could, I mean, come on. He also demanded global amnesty for every crime tied to him and his circle. That request was rejected. I mean, if the ICC, which is whatever, the International Criminal Court, okay, if they're going to go after Bibi and they would turn their back to this dude, like, come on. But it was rejected. Federal indictments against Mr. Maduro remain very active. The Justice Department charged him with narco-terrorism, if you recall that, machine gun trafficking, and a conspiracy to help the FARC move, that's F-A-R-C, cocaine through Central America. The U.S. government says he's the head of the Cartel de las Salas, which is responsible for shipping hundreds of tons of drugs into our country for decades. So, hey, I'm happy that we have a culture now. I'm thankful that President Trump is actually wanting to take the fight to the enemy. Now, all this with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will play itself out, okay? But until they do, I want everybody to have a wonderful afternoon. Stay warm out there. Oh, my goodness, but I love it. God made today to be a great day. Be careful out there. May God bless you.